I saw 2014 GDQ. It was Toto who ran Diddy Kong Racing, and he also ran Mario Sunshine, any percent. And watching both of those, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing ever. I think one of the times that he ran Diddy Kong Racing at GDQ was a world record. So seeing that happen in a live space like that was just like insane to me. So I pretty much watched every GDQ as the years went on, but I didn't get into actually trying to speedrun a game until like a couple years ago. And since I'm a lefty, I have to mash with my left hand into the controller, which I think is kind of interesting. I had been, I guess, browsing Twitch, and I follow all the games I like, and Sonic Heroes just had a bunch of viewers that day, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So I click on it, and it's my now pretty good friend Emerald, who was running Team Rose at the time. So I click on his stream and I start watching it, and I was like, I remember playing this game like as a kid, and it looks really cool now. Like the movement looks really fluid, and it looks like something that I might be able to get into. And then he told me to look up Freefall, who is current world record holder of Team Rose Unrestricted. And so I watched him, and he had a tutorial out at the time. He has a better one out now, but back in the day, that's what I watched. Specifically, there's this one move where Big the Cat just like flies through the air, and it just looks really funny. And I'm like, this is funny enough for me to like try to pick this game up. So that's what got me started with that. And then after that, I ended up moving to all the different categories, and I've played every category except for one at the moment. And when I was grinding each category, I made sure I always ended up at least in the top 5 for all of them, or maybe higher. I've been bumped out of a couple of them, but when I start grinding the category, that's my goal. Oh my. With that song. Even though it is like a pretty huge community, it is still kind of niche. So I feel like I'm just kind of, at the moment, I don't feel like I'm standing out like too much. I'm mostly just like getting as good as I can at the games, and like being as inviting and welcoming as possible so that the gameplay is good and like the environment is good, and I feel like people like sticking around with that. But I'm always working on thinking of ways that could make me stand out in a way. I always have a ton of ideas for like more extravagant things. Like I did do an Amazon stream where I spent $500 on just random Amazon things that people picked out for me. Everybody get your votes in. I have like ideas of ways to bring more like real life aspects into the stream as opposed to just playing games and speedrunning and stuff. So I could see it getting more elaborate in the future. If my long-term end goal was to be like top 1% or like top 5% of all time, it's like that's kind of unrealistic. But if I boot up the stream and I get like a couple homies hanging out with me and we're all just chilling, then like that's all I could ask for. Oops, I forgot about. I feel like everyone thinks that speedrunning is like this insane thing. You need to work for years at your craft and be like the best in the world, when really like everyone's first run of any category is just gonna be god awful. And the more you do it, you find your consistent levels and you find the places you need to fix, and then slowly but surely you become better and better at it. But I know a lot of people who will try to like optimize before they do a run, and it's like you can't really do that because you can't account for all the things that could possibly go wrong in the length of the run.
God. What the fuck is wrong with this game?
I feel like I'm always driven to just do something. I feel like I just drive myself mostly. But at the same time, there's so many people that I love seeing in the chat whenever I boot up the stream, and it's like, at the end of the day, they're the ones that like make it worth it. Like, I'll always want to stream, or I'll always want to get better at my games and stuff, but when they show up, that's what it's all about, really.